Hey, so I've been using Wealthsimple Trade for about 7 months now, and I just wanted to make this video to kind of run through how I feel about it and what I like, and maybe you can find this information useful if you're considering using Wealthsimple Trade yourself. So basically, jumping straight to the conclusion, I like it. I think it's a wonderful platform, and if you'd like to try it as well after watching this video, there's a link in the description below where basically you can get $10 just added bonus to your account after you trade your first 100. So that's really nice. That's basically just a 10% immediate return on your investment. It's a nice way to get started, and then from there you can continue. So really in the last 7 months or so, I've made 197 transactions, and I've got paid 96 times from dividends. I've deposited money 47 times, and I've made quite a few referrals as well to the app, which I'll talk about later. But you can see here when we look at the all-time graph, basically each one of these little bumps is one of my investments into the account, and in general it's going up, which is great. But also I've invested about $13,775 of my own, but the account balance is at $15,637. So I'm up pretty much 14% just from the stock appreciation and the dividends and things like that, which is nice to see. But when we think about especially the 197 transactions that I've done, let's go here to the activity tab and then maybe just focus on just the buys. So if you come in here and you can just see I've done a lot of buys. This is, like I said, I've done 190 buys and I think 7 sales. But if you look at this, a lot of these buys are for quite small amounts of money. For example, this one was just a single stock I bought for about $20. And I'm able to do that because there is no trading fees with Wealthsimple Trade. So some apps will trade you like $10, and some cost you $7, and others cost $5 per trade. But basically the whole point of this is to spend as little money as possible on fees and stuff so you can make, the maximum amount back in your returns. So you can imagine that if you were paying $10 per trade, then you would have to spend, let's say, like $1,000 for that $10 fee to equal 1% of your transaction. So just by buying $1,000 worth of stocks, you've already lost 1% on the buy. And then when you go and sell those, if you sell them for $1,000 again, you're going to pay $10 again. So now you've paid another percent. So you've just lost 2% just by owning those stocks no matter what. Whereas with Wealthsimple Trade, what I can do is I can just come in here and make a small order, and if I want to spend, let's say, $50 or something on a transaction, and I pay 0 in commission, I'm not losing 1% or anything. And if you were paying $10 for a $50 trade, that would be like a very stupid thing to do. So it actually enables you to make much smaller trades than if you were using other trading programs, which is something that I really like, because what I like to do is I wait until there's like a dip in the stock price often, and that's when I like to buy more stocks. And by doing this allows me to pick and choose which stocks I'm buying and reducing the average price on those stocks that are in my portfolio. And also, if I'm trying to balance out kind of like the sectors or things like that, I can really pick and choose, and I don't have to worry about dropping in $1,000 or something, into one stock and then $1,000 into the next, because I only deposit a few $100s each week, and this enables me to just have much greater control over my account. Now, if you did want to buy a stock, it's super easy. You just come here and you just type in whatever stock you're looking for. So maybe let's look at some of the ones that I have here. For example, AP.UN. This is a stock that I hold, which is like a real estate stock. And when you come in here and look at it, they have a bunch of information. They have the 5-year, a 1-year chart, 3 months, and you can keep zooming in closer and closer right down to the day. And when you scroll down, you can see that right now I hold 14 shares of this. This is the current price, and you can see here this is like how much I'm up overall in dollars and percent. And then I have my average price here as well, the percent in my portfolio, and then a little bit more information here, like some basics about the PE ratio, yield, and stuff like that. And then also a short little bio here. So it's got some nice stuff. And then if you want to buy a stock, it's super easy. I only have $7 in my account right now, so I'm not going to be able to buy this one. But basically, you just tap however many you want and hit the buy button. Now here, I don't have enough to buy the stock, but you basically just a confirmation button there, and then you could just buy it, and then boom, it's in your account. Super easy. Same with selling. If you want to sell the shares, we just count this up, and I don't actually want to place the order, but you can see really simply how this works. You can actually buy a stock and then immediately sell it 2 minutes later, and that works as well. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but it's really responsive and fast, and you don't have to wait for any long delays. When you do deposit money, up until now there's been a 3-day delay, but Wealthsimple Trade is currently working on that as of now, which is April of 2021, you're able to deposit $250 instantly, and they actually are releasing like a premium version of Wealthsimple Trade that should cost $3 per month, where you can deposit up to $1,000 instantly with no delays and get some like real-time stock quotes and things like that, because this is actually delayed by about 15 minutes. But yeah, when you're ordering, you have a few different options like market sell. Sorry, let's go to the buy. Market buy, limit buy, and stop limit buy. These are just different ways that you can kind of protect, like you set like a maximum amount of money that you're willing to spend, and this is a nice way that you can choose to use if you want for a little bit of security, because you might not get this exact price that you're seeing here. But yeah, let's maybe take a look at the dividends as well. So if we come here to dividends, then you can just see here that they're just coming in all the time. For me, I only have a couple $1,000s in here, so my dividend payments aren't huge, but $1 here, $1 there. And if you look at the dates here, they're coming in all the time. Some days, especially around the end or the beginning of the month, you're just getting tons of dividends as well. So that's always really nice. And this just gets added into the available cash that you have, and then you're able to spend that on whatever stock you want to buy next. And if you want to maybe look at your portfolio, for example, so we can come in here. They have a full list here of all of the different stocks. It's usually organized alphabetically, and in here you can see today's price, the total value, so this is like how many shares you have times the current price, and then the return. And you can see here, I'm fortunate that all of mine are pretty much in the green. And a small part of this is because I'm doing this dollar cost averaging strategy where I'm kind of buying dips, and as the stock dips below my average price, I buy it more. And then when it comes up a little bit, then I'm like, there's a higher chance that I'm going to be in the green again because my average price is actually lower than it was before. And that's something that is quite easy to work towards when you're able to just buy like 1 or 2 stocks at a time when that individual one is down. But anyways, come in here, we can see that at the bottom of the list, there's actually 32 stocks. There are 32 positions, different companies that I'm holding at the moment. And that seems to be a reasonable amount for me. It's like pretty safe for my diversification, and it's also not so much that I can't keep track of what's what, and I can kind of actually remember what all these companies are and keep an eye on what they're doing. But yeah, maybe let's also talk about the mobile app as well. So if we just pull it up here, you can see it's all the same information, and the mobile app functions just exactly the same way. Basically, you can click on a stock. Let's click on Ally Properties again. And you see you have all of the same information in here. So if you prefer mobile or you're on the go, it's really easy as well. You can see at the bottom we have the buy and sell buttons, and everything in here is still the same. And it's really, really easy to use. You can also see here that actually on the mobile version, they're kind of doing the beta test for premium. And so if we click here, basically for $3 a month, you're going to get real-time quotes, and also they're talking about this $1,000 immediate deposit. So I'm not going to do it right now, but that's something that's coming out, and Wealthsimple is always kind of releasing new features, and it's always getting better and better. Now I guess I'll just talk about quickly a few things that could be improved or that I don't totally like about Wealthsimple Trade, but I think are important to mention. If you do want to buy American stocks, you're going to pay a 1.5% currency conversion fee when you buy the stocks, and then you're also going to pay a 1.5% currency conversion fee when you sell the stocks. So you're looking at losing 3% per stock no matter what by the time you sell that stock. So 1.5% on the buy and 1.5% on the sell. So that's something to watch out for. If you'll notice in my account, all of these stocks are on the Canadian stock markets, the Toronto Stock Exchange actually. And so I don't pay the currency conversion fees, and it's working fine for me. I think being up 14% in 7 months is pretty good, and I don't feel the need to buy US stocks, but if you are buying US stocks, just watch out for that. And the other thing that I'd like to see inside Wealthsimple Trade is a little bit more information on the whole account, especially coming regarding dividends and things like that, because all of my stocks are dividend-paying stocks. It's something that I really like investing in. But if you click on an individual one, it's going to basically show you the yield for this stock. And this is basically just like the total amount of dividend money that they're going to pay you in 1 year divided by the current stock price. But this is only on a per stock basis, and it doesn't even give you the dollar number. It just gives you the percent. So that's the percent is really the most important thing. But on a portfolio basis, it would be nice to see exactly how much the whole portfolio together is going to generate in like terms of cash flow, and also like a nice summary of the total of all dividends that you've received over time or something like that would be nice too. And so actually I made a spreadsheet where I can track these things as well on top of Wealthsimple Trade. And this works in Google Sheets. There's actually a link in the description below as well if you'd like to try this too. But basically I have the weighted yield of my whole portfolio. And you can actually see here in this portfolio tab I have the dividend yield of each stock is in this column, and then in the summary tab, we can see that like I have $15,640 in here, and basically that's going to yield 3.87% in total. So this is weighted depending on how many, like if I have a big position or a small position and things like that. And then I can also use that basically to project how much that is going to be in terms of dollars per year. So 3.87% of 15,648 is just $605. And then I can also divide that just by 12 to kind of get an idea of like what's that going to be per month. And then keep in mind this is an estimate because it's just this number divided by 12 and not everyone's paying monthly, so it's not a perfectly even split. But having this information like directly inside of Wealthsimple Trade would definitely be an improvement. But tracking it yourself with a Google Sheet or with some kind of spreadsheet or something like that is no big deal. It's really easy just to drop numbers into one of these things and kind of keep track yourself as well. But yeah, I hope that's like a quick overview and good enough for you just to get an idea of what it's like using Wealthsimple Trade. For me, I'm a big fan of it. I haven't used the crypto feature yet, but I know a lot of people are using that as well. But I'm pretty happy just buying Canadian stocks on the TSX. It's doing all right for me. And yeah, if that's something that you guys would like to try, again, remember there's a link in the description below where you can give Wealthsimple Trade a try and get that 10% kind of return on investment just for starting out with your first $100 investment. And otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where I'm going to do an update talking about my portfolio update later this week.